Observable is a free platform where you can collaboratively explore, analyze, visualize, and communicate with data on the web. In this demo, we'll show you how you can work with your own data and share your results in just 5 minutes. To get started from your logged in Observable account, click on the New button at the top of the page and choose to create a new notebook either from one of our existing templates or boilerplates, or simply a blank start, as we'll do in this case. Set the title of your notebook by entering it in the first code cell at the top and evaluating it, noticing how the code and results live side by side in the notebook. We'll need some data for this demo, so we can head on over to the organization CountLove, which has been crowdsourcing the locations of protests in the United States since 2017. Looking through their documentation, we can easily download that data in a .csv file. Back in our notebook, we can load it in as a file attachment by simply dragging and dropping it into this menu. Note, we also have support for a variety of different types of database connections. We can insert that file into the notebook, use some thoughtful type checking to format each column, and store the results in a variable called data. In JavaScript, that data is structured as an array of objects, and Observable provides you with a number of different components that you can use to view and interact with that data. For example, the table input allows you to dynamically sort the data and view a sample of it. Here we can see the minimum and maximum number of attendees across the protests. Now that you've seen a sample of the data, you may want to compute some summary statistics. You can write that JavaScript code yourself, or leverage the concept of an import, where you bring in that functionality from another notebook, whether from the official Observable HQ account, one of your own notebooks, or one of the hundreds of thousands of publicly available examples from the Observable community. The summary table function will provide you with a visual overview of your data, including the numbers of rows and columns, the types of those columns, and a visual snapshot of the distribution of those columns. Here, we can see that the tags column has a bit of a strange format, where the overarching category precedes a semicolon, and then there are different subcategories for that protest. Thus, we'll have to do a bit of data wrangling. Each Observable notebook comes preloaded with a number of different popular JavaScript libraries, including D3, Lodash, and the Arcaro library for data wrangling. You can write whatever custom JavaScript code you want to format your data, in this case, splitting the tags column on the semicolon and grabbing everything before that first semicolon. We can return the data in its original format, storing it in a variable called formatted, which you can pass into our summary table function to view the results. Here, we now have a much more manageable set of 12 categories that we can use in our analysis. Finally, we can visually analyze our data. You can write any JavaScript visualization code you want, though the snippet side pane gives you some support and structure for starting to use the Observable Plot open source visualization library. Here, we have a simple code skeleton where we can fill in the name of our data and the name of our visual encodings to create our chart. The first insight is just that there have been a lot of protests in the United States during this time. However, if we choose to map between other data features and visual features, other patterns will quickly emerge. With a bit more additional customization and formatting, we can finalize our plot, though it does seem a bit data dense. So we can use one more input, in this case, a search input, to limit the chart to anything that a user searches for, whether that be a location or a category. To connect the search input to the chart, simply copy the name of the variable you've created and use that as the input to the chart. Then, whenever you type into the search box, the chart will dynamically update with the rows that are matched in your dataset. Note, you can rearrange the order of your cells to better organize your notebook. We can assign this chart a name, and then we're ready to share it. Scrolling back to the top of the notebook, when we click on the Share button, we can share with other members of our Observable team, giving other collaborators either view or live collaboration edit access, or we can publish the notebook out to the web and simply share the URL with anyone we wish to share the results with. If you just want to share a part of your notebook, such as the visualization, we can return to it and download it either in a high-quality SVG or PNG format, or you can choose to embed multiple different cells in a different web application, either within your own JavaScript or React application, or in an iframe, where you can just grab the URL and share that with anyone you like. Then you've built a dynamic web application where you can interact with your visualization in just minutes. In just a few minutes, we were able to create a new notebook, load data into that notebook, view and interact with that data, summarize it and wrangle it into the desired format, then create an interactive visualization that we are able to share with others on the web. To learn more about Observable, create your free account on observablehq.com today.